This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Their children were taken away from their communities and their cultures. Now, a Manitoba judge says First Nations child welfare rights were breached by the government. It's a historic decision that paves the way for a class action lawsuit that could have billions of dollars of implications. And it came with a loud and clear message from First Nations leaders to governments. CBC's Chelsea Kemp has more.
First Nation leaders are hailing a landmark court decision that could transform child and family services. Manitoba's Chief Justice found that federal and provincial policy and funding systematically separated First Nation children from their cultures, community, and family. They say that caused undue hardship and infringed on the rights of First Nations to care for their own children.
Today's decision is emotional for many of us because it confirms what we've been saying. Our children should have never been removed from our nations, our cultures, our languages, and our land at the scale that we've been seeing in Manitoba.
The decision comes after Black River First Nation, Pima-Chickamak Cree Nation, and Mississauga Cree Nation, along with the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, launched a class action lawsuit in 2022. They're seeking $2.1 billion for First Nations harmed by the apprehension of kids by CFS agencies between 1992 and today.
Because it's not about money. It's not about money. It's about doing what is right. It's about children's lives and being able to allow First Nations to take care of their own and to be able to bring them up in a good way, the best way that we know how, with our own cultures, with our own teachings.
The ruling contains 3 key points: that all Manitoba First Nations have always had the inherent right to raise their children in their own community and culture, and that practices by the governments of Canada and Manitoba infringed on this right, causing undue hardship. And now, all of Manitoba's 63 First Nations can now choose to opt into the lawsuit.
For generations, First Nations families have said that the child welfare system was failing our children. So today the court has confirmed those truths.
For now, Moneas says the focus is on moving forward.
To Canada and Manitoba, we say this with open hearts: stop fighting us. Walk with us, listen to your own courts, and work alongside First Nations to build system rooted in love, prevention, healing, culture, and family unity.
Public Interest Law Centre, which represents the group, says 24 Manitoba First Nations have opted into the case. Now, the provincial and federal government have 30 days to respond. Chelsea Kemp, CBC News, Portage-La Prairie.
The College of Registered Nurses is apologizing to Indigenous people in Canada. Its CEO says colonization and ongoing discrimination negatively affect the health of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. She adds the organization had and continues to have a role in that discrimination.
We have failed to act in ways that would have guided the education and practice of registered nurses serving First Nations, Inuit, and Métis towards 2 of the most central tenets of healthcare: to help and to do no harm.
She says RNs were a part of things like residential schools and so-called Indian hospitals. And she adds the college didn't try to change the discriminatory systems to lessen the harm experienced by those subjected to them. RCMP say 1 man has been arrested after the death of a 49-year-old man in the RM of St. Anne. Cameron Hewley was a chef and volunteer firefighter. While his family and friends were gathered Tuesday to honor his life, RCMP arrested a 46-year-old for his death. Mounties say Hewley and the man were at a social gathering outside a home in the rural community when a fight started. Hewley was assaulted and died in hospital. RCMP say the 2 were both guests at the party but did not previously know each other. Jeff Wyness has been charged with manslaughter. Open drug use near Winnipeg schools is an alarming reality, and the city's drug crisis is putting staff and students in danger. That's according to the head of Winnipeg's biggest school division, who says they're doing what they can to crack down on drug use and people selling drugs. It comes after some Portage Avenue businesses raised concerns about vandalism and substance use in the area. The CBC's Alana Cole reports.
A fire outside a Portage Avenue shop, vandalism, concerns about open drug use in the West End. Now, the head of Winnipeg's biggest school division says substance use in the community is being felt at schools too.
It's a concern throughout the whole city and the whole division around addictions, around homelessness, and the impact that it's having on our schools in general.
Superintendent Matt Henderson says for him, the solution comes down to getting rid of drugs and getting drug dealers off the streets.
And I know that's a really complex thing to think about, but when I think about the parking lot across from Gordon Bell where the Tim Hortons and Rexall are, and just other corners in like drug dealers are there. They're pervasive and they're willing and able. They're excellent entrepreneurs.
Winnipeg's mayor says he hasn't heard concerns about schools specifically, but talked about open drug use with the chief of police recently.
I said to the chief that if his officers are going to be enforcing open drug use, I would be in full support of that initiative.
Gillingham says he also supports the idea of schools hiring resource officers. Matt Henderson says when it comes to Gordon Bell, they've partnered with the West End Biz. The executive director there says patrol members are in the area between 8 and 9 every morning.
Just in case there's any kind of concerning behavior, they're trained to, respond in a way that's compassionate, that's considerate, that, again, takes into account all of the, needs of all community members.
Manitoba's Minister of Housing, Addictions and Homelessness says the province is trying to make changes.
That's why it's so important that we get this supervised consumption site up and running so that we can lead people to the resources that they need to get onto a path of recovery.
She says the government wants to get drugs off the street while also getting people the help they need. Alana Cole, CBC News, Winnipeg.
He admitted to stealing cash and other items while on the job, but former Winnipeg Police Constable Matthew Kadnick will not be going to jail. He was arrested alongside now imprisoned former officer Elston Bostock. And CBC's Caitlin Gowerluck was in court and has the latest.
I'm pretty sure you're going to like what's in there.
Former Winnipeg police officer Matthew Kadnick was caught stealing by this hidden camera. He and his partner Elston Bostock took cigarettes, money, and bear spray from a bag they thought was evidence in a break-in. On Wednesday, Kadnick was given a roughly 2-year conditional sentence. 1 year of house arrest followed by about another with conditions, including a curfew. The former junior officer pleaded guilty to theft and breach of trust in January. Kadnick was arrested after this integrity test in 2024 as police investigated his partner, now imprisoned officer Elston Bostock. Court heard what they thought was a vehicle break-in was actually a staged incident, where a fake victim played by an undercover RCMP officer confronted a made-up suspect and ripped a backpack off him while the suspect ran away. The secretly recorded video shows Bostock and Kadnick pop the trunk and go through the bag. They find cash and what looks like drugs.
So we got 75 in cash, and there's more of those pills in the bag too. Yep, at the bottom.
Bostock pleaded guilty in that incident and a long list of others. He's been sentenced to 7 years in prison and removed from the force. In court on Wednesday, the judge said there needs to be a message for the other Matthew Kadnicks on the force. If you do something like this, you get caught and you get convicted, there's going to be serious consequences. When given the chance to address court, Kadnick said he was placed in a position of trust. He said that trust was broken, and I'm sorry. Court heard Kadnick resigned from the force after pleading guilty. He wiped his eyes throughout the hearing and read his statement in a quiet voice, telling the court he feels great remorse and shame for what he did. Caitlin Gowerluck, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, Riley's in now. And Riley, if people haven't gotten outside today for at least a little bit, there is still time because, my gosh, it's a beautiful day.
Yeah, above seasonal, I mean, by spring standards, these are close to summertime temperatures across southern Manitoba. Winnipeg up to 24 degrees through the afternoon, but as expected, 26s, 27s into southwestern Manitoba, even into parts of northern Manitoba. Thompson at 16 degrees. This is a couple degrees above seasonal, but also really helped to flip things in maybe not such a good way with some very quick melting in parts of northern Manitoba and some localized flooding in parts of Thompson because of that as well. So yeah, not great in some parts of the province, although we did enjoy some sunshine today. Things coming to a very abrupt end, signaled by this, yes, winter storm warning in place along the Hudson Bay coast and far northern parts of the province. This is because of an area of low pressure that'll push into the province as we get through Thursday into Friday. Not a lot of moisture in southern Manitoba with this one. This brings some very windy conditions and an elevated fire risk as we get through tomorrow, but the potential along the Hudson Bay coast of up to 10 centimeters of snow or more by the time we get to the weekend. We'll talk about both sides of that when I come back in just a bit, Brittany.
You really never know going into May long. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Well, he weighed just 92 pounds when he died, frail and emaciated. But his family says there are still too many unanswered questions, and they want answers. That's coming up next. The family of an intellectually disabled man who died after being found severely malnourished in his care home want answers. It took them 2 years to find out what caused his death. Now they want an inquest. The I-Team's Michelle Allen reports.
Shelley Schultz says nothing could have prepared her for what she saw in December 2023. She found her brother, Sean Felstead, on a mattress on the floor of his care home, gaunt, with a full catheter bag of urine, too weak to get up on his own. She says the first thing he told her was that he was hungry.
Oh, it's terrifying. Have you ever seen somebody who starved? Like actually seen them and touched them? He was pure bones.
Felstead died in the hospital a month later.
Sean was an absolute character.
Felstead had an intellectual disability. He only knew a handful of words. He loved cars and listening to Def Leppard. He needed 24/7 care and lived in the care home his whole adult life. His family helped open it to make sure he'd always be taken care of. When Schultz moved to BC, she felt like she was leaving her brother in good hands. She says she feels guilty, but never imagined that he could become malnourished in 24/7 care. Felstead was over 6 feet tall and always lean. On the autopsy table, his body weighed just 92 pounds.
I feel like I know too well what his skeleton looks like. Like his skin was covering it, obviously, but you could tell the definition of every single bone that came in his body.
Felstead's death left the family searching for answers. Now, they finally have a copy of the autopsy and a report from Manitoba's Provincial Investigations Unit. It says that he died of sepsis from a urinary tract infection, and malnutrition contributed. This expert says that conditions like sepsis and even constipation are more likely to kill people with intellectual disabilities. Gaps in the medical system are part of the reason why.
And they're really not able to communicate that there's actually something wrong, right? Or the way they're communicating that something's wrong is not understood by the provider.
The investigation found the care home didn't neglect Felstead. It tried to help. Workers took him to the Gimli Hospital multiple times in the months leading up to his death. But doctors sent him home without figuring out what was wrong. Although it's not the role of the investigative unit to criticize the medical system, there didn't seem to be follow-up for the underlying causes of the medical issues that Felstead was experiencing, the report said. The Interlake Eastern Regional Health Authority gave an emailed statement. It said privacy prevents it from speaking much about Felstead's care, but it didn't receive any formal complaints or incident reports about it.
How could a hospital not? How are they returning him back to a place where he was starving? How did the residents let it happen?
How do you process your grief?
I don't know that I ever really have. I don't know that I can until this is, until something happens.
Schultz says what she needs is accountability. She's calling for an inquest into her brother's death.
Come on, let's go. Good boy.
On the anniversary of her brother's death, Schultz got a dog. She named him Bjorn, her brother's middle name.
It's a daily reminder of how much we really love Sean.
Until there's an inquest, Schultz says we'll never know how many other people fall through cracks in the system. Michelle Allen, CBC News, Kamloops.
In an emailed statement, Manitoba's Families Minister says the department is working on improving communication so that findings of future investigations into the deaths of vulnerable people can be shared more quickly. He was accused of killing cats and dumping them under a Winnipeg bridge in a case that saw animal rights groups protesting. But now a Winnipeg man has pleaded guilty to lesser crimes. CBC's Bryce Hoy has the details and a warning. Some of the details of the incidents are graphic.
A trial got underway Wednesday for Randy Jensen, accused of killing 3 cats. But things took a turn late in the day, with Jensen pleading guilty to lesser charges. A handful of animal rights protesters outside court this morning for a case they've been following. Jensen was charged in January 2025 with 3 counts of killing or injuring an animal. His arrest came after dead cats were found under Summit Road Bridge weeks earlier along the western edge of Winnipeg. In the morning on Wednesday, footage of a lengthy police interrogation was played in court. One detective is heard saying, quote, "The cat community is stirred up right now, and they're barking at us to try and figure out what happened. I believe that you killed these cats." Jensen denies killing cats in the video. He tells police he was struggling with depression and anxiety. He says his memory is blurry, saying, quote, "I was also doing drugs at the time, which could have possibly caused some sort of psychosis. One day I just woke up with scratches I don't remember getting." Police are then heard telling Jensen one of the cats had its legs bound with tape. Jensen then admits on the recording to choking 2 cats, but he initially pleaded not guilty to killing them. Then, in the afternoon, Jensen changed his plea. after a deal, not to killing cats, but to causing unnecessary pain or suffering. Now prosecutors are seeking a ban on Jensen owning pets again. Jensen's to be sentenced at a later date. Bryce Hoy, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, Riley back in now. And Riley, I feel like today was that beautiful spring day that we've all been waiting for. And like we said just a few minutes ago, hopefully you got outside because we're in for a shift.
Yeah, a bit of a change. I mean, temperature-wise, it's sort of similar across the south tomorrow than it was today, but there'll be a lot more wind in there as well. I'm going to start with the temperatures because maybe something caught your eye on this one. In particular, the temperature for Churchill. This is automated data that is fed into the graphic system here. Yeah, not 34 degrees in Churchill through the afternoon. It was more like 4 degrees. Just some bad data getting through some of the cracks as these numbers tend to update as we come on the air here. So temperatures, closer to single digits, below seasonal along the Hudson Bay coast. But yeah, we have seen temperatures in the high 20s, something more summer-like across much of southern Manitoba. Not as warm tomorrow and certainly a lot windier. You know I like to keep you updated on things that are happening around the province. Well, tomorrow is Brandon's first downtown cruise night of the season, 6 to 9 p.m., looking at 18 degrees temperature-wise. Fairly decent. Slim chance of a few showers through the early part of the evening, but it's the wind that will be problematic through the day tomorrow. Southwest 50, gusting to 70. I say problematic because with some of the dryness that we've seen, that is going to elevate fire danger as we get through the day tomorrow. So this is a map taking us through the fire danger for tomorrow. Southwestern Manitoba, Brandon, into Russell and Roblin, for example, into that extreme fire danger. So be fire safe. If you can hold off on any burning for the next couple of days at least, probably a good idea. The rest of southern Manitoba, in particular the Interlake and into parts of the west, low to moderate, but the Red River Valley looking at that high to extreme fire danger as well. This is all because of an area of low pressure that'll push into the province as we get into the early morning hours tomorrow. Maybe a few showers first thing in the west, but some mixed precipitation starting along the Hudson Bay coast. This will continue through the day. For the south, at least, this is not much more than a few showers or the odd rumble of thunder as we get through the middle part of the day. But into northern Manitoba, this is where we could see some rain in Thompson with double-digit temperatures tomorrow. But as temperatures cool in behind this as we get into Friday, a transition into some mixed precipitation and even some snow for northern Manitoba to the tune of up to 10 plus centimeters along the Hudson Bay coast. I'm not expecting that much per se along places like Flin Flon into Lynn Lake and Thompson, but certainly expect some changing conditions over the next couple of days here. For the south, the story will be the winds by the overnight hours, looking at that gust picking up to 60 or 70. That takes us through the morning hours into the afternoon. So very windy day across southern Manitoba, not just Thursday, but taking us into Friday. So just to keep that in mind, that we could be up against some very, very windy conditions in the south over the next couple of days. Still 22 degrees in Winnipeg as we get through Thursday. Temperatures do start to fall back slightly as we get into the weekend. 11 degrees into Sunday, Brittany, and looking at some rain as we get into the holiday Monday, and temperatures below seasonal once again.
All right, thanks,
You're
Riley.
welcome.
Well, we have much more ahead right after this. Stay with us. Plans for AI data centers are popping up across North America. Some people living near the planned sites are raising concerns. One rural Manitoban says she doesn't like the idea of a data center going up near her home. And as CBC's Jura McElwraith reports, she's doing something about it.
Christy Little wants to get the word out. There's a possibility an AI data center could take over the field near her home. She says it would be devastating if the project goes through.
We've been here for 20 years. We made our home here. We thought we were going to live here, for another 50 years, as long as we possibly could, because we absolutely love it here. So the concern that this is happening definitely makes a big question mark in our future.
Jet AI and Consensus Corps say the building would sit on about 140 hectares near the town of Ile-des-Chênes, but Little wants it to move somewhere else. The concern? Potential noise, light, and air pollution if the center uses gas turbines. So she started a petition, which now has more than 10,000 signatures. It's a story growing more common across Canada as data companies look for locations with cheap hydro and cool climates. Near Regina, construction has already begun on a similar project, again facing community backlash. A petition there gathered roughly 13,000 signatures, but resident JJ Big Sky says there's a feeling of helplessness.
It shows the amount of people that are within your cause. That being said, online petitions can only go so far. There needs to be collective action. Physical petitions are ones that cannot be ignored. Online ones can be ignored.
Computer science expert David Gerhard says there are benefits to building AI data centers locally, like keeping Canadian data secure, but there needs to be a balance.
It comes back to sort of how do we feel about AI at all? Right? Like if we think this is a thing that is problematic and is gonna put a lot of people out of work, then it's hard to justify spending a lot of time and money and environmental impact to build one of these things.
A provincial spokesperson tells CBC it's aware Jet AI wants to build the data center near Ile-des-Chênes, but first applications need to go to Manitoba Hydro. A Hydro spokesperson says they don't discuss applications or proposed developments. A spokesperson for the RM of Richot says it has the same questions Christy Little has, and they want answers directly from the company. Jura McElwraith, CBC News, Ile-des-Chênes.
Workers at Winnipeg's largest private health clinic are set to walk off the job next Tuesday. Cardiology techs at the Manitoba Clinic issued the strike notice yesterday. Their union, the Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals, says the private clinic is prioritizing profits over patient care. It says the clinic proposed wages roughly 27% lower than the public sector. The clinic says it won't comment on negotiations, but says patient continuity plans are in place if needed. A French language nursing program is getting a record number of students this fall. The Bachelor of Nursing program at the University of St. Boniface will welcome 75 new students. That's up from a maximum of 45 students in previous years. The health minister says the government is putting up nearly $220,000 to expand the four-year program.
Really want to thank Manitobans who have spoken up and said that they need more bilingual French-speaking healthcare workers at the bedside. We're listening to Manitobans. We're listening to those folks who say to us how important it is that they have care provided in their first language or the language they're most comfortable speaking and receiving care in.
Demand for the program is surging. The university typically receives about 60 applications a year, but this time around, more than 110 people applied. Winnipeg's mayor says the city has started the process of seizing dozens of vacant and derelict properties. It comes after council moved last year to speed up enforcement. The update comes on the heels of firefighters battling 7 fires at 6 properties within hours earlier this week, almost all of them in vacant buildings. CBC's Cameron McLean reports.
These houses were trouble houses even when they were occupied.
Daryl Warren has seen one vacant house fire after another. The president of the William White Neighborhood Association says these 3 houses on Power Street have had a total of 12 fires in 4 years. Warren would like to see someone step in and take the properties.
As you see, these are good-sized lots here, and this could house 5-6 families. Like you could build a 5 or 6-plex here on this particular property, and you know, you could have 5-6 families to a responsible landlord.
One of the houses was among half a dozen properties firefighters were called to overnight Monday. 5 were empty. The city has the power to seize properties from owners who violate the vacant buildings bylaw, but for years it was rarely used. Amid growing frustration around the issue of repeated fires in vacant buildings, last December, council passed a motion ordering city officials to use that power of taking title without compensation more frequently. Since then, the city has started the process of seizing 48 properties. Mayor Scott Gillingham says in many cases, the threat of losing a property pushes owners to fix it up before the city takes it.
The property owners have the opportunity to get into full compliance with city bylaws and city regulations. So it may not be that the city ultimately takes title of all 48 properties.
Deputy Fire Chief Scott Wilkinson says repeated vacant house fires are pushing firefighters and investigators to the brink.
It was a huge strain on our system and on our people. We had 7 fires, most of which in the same general area.
Warren says neighbors feel the strain too.
It's very hard to say to them, oh yeah, you know, like there's hope, when stuff like this stands around for years and years.
He says people in the area are tired of waiting while dangerous buildings sit empty. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The federal public safety minister made a stop in Winnipeg to show solidarity against rising anti-Semitism. The minister spoke at the Asper Jewish Community Campus. He says $75 million will go towards boosting security at places of worship and community hubs. The minister says the money will pay for things like security guards and cameras at different institutions.
We're here today to clearly articulate that Canada is a place where the Jewish community belongs. Canada is a place where the Jewish community will be safe.
The federal government says there were at least 4,500 reported hate crimes last year. Half targeted race or ethnicity, and nearly a quarter targeted religion. Manitoba's Municipal Board says it doesn't have the time or expertise to oversee big City of Winnipeg construction projects. The head of the board made the comments this morning at the Winnipeg Police Headquarters inquiry. CBC's Bartley Kivas reports.
The Police HQ inquiry is hearing recommendations this month about ways to improve the way the city plans big projects. The inquiry was told by the NDP government to include the Municipal Board in this discussion. It's an appointed, unelected body that handles appeals of municipal property assessments and some city land use decisions. Laura Lavoie, the chair of the board, told the inquiry her organization's too busy to take on other tasks. It was just handed the responsibility to adjudicate provincial challenges of grocery store real estate covenants. Lavoie told the inquiry the board's already struggling to fulfill its existing very broad mandate due to resource constraints, further highlighting its unsuitability for expanded oversight responsibilities. Lavoie also said the board doesn't have expertise to oversee city construction projects. Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham agrees.
I really don't see the Municipal Board having a role in project oversight.
Gillingham's also happy the province is about to claw back the board's powers. It'll no longer be able to make binding decisions about city land use appeals. Gillingham and Lavoie both said this was a problem because the board is not elected.
When a Municipal Board is making decisions that council can't overturn or just has to implement, there's no mechanism of accountability.
The NDP government said it made an election promise to give municipalities back their final say.
Being able to put systems in place that respects their autonomy and authority is what we said we would do.
The changes to the Municipal Board's powers should take effect in June. Bartley Kivas, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The former Vulcan Iron Works site caught fire again. Fire crews responded to the incident at the vacant industrial site in Point Douglas after 4 yesterday afternoon. The site has suffered several significant fires since it was gutted by a massive one in July 2023. The city says it believes yesterday's fire started by accident when contractors were working on the roof. All of those workers were able to get out safely. What started as a desperate search for help during her family's mental health crisis has turned into an opportunity to educate and heal for one Steinbach woman. CBC's Christopher Garreau reports.
Marisol Polillo always used art to express herself. A former dance teacher, she now uses painting as a way to help with her mental health. She's hosting Manitoba's Sash Bear Walk May 23rd after experiencing a family crisis.
Yeah, I was actually coming back from the hospital, and then trying desperately to find resources for my loved one to help her. I stumbled up on this website, thesashbear.org, and I just signed up, I guess, in desperation.
Sash Bear holds walks across Canada to fund programs that help people struggling with mental health and their families. From the concrete to the canvas, a partnership with Steinbach Arts Council this year is aiming to expand the discussion. There's an opportunity to paint the experience of the 3K walk and what mental health means to all levels and ages of artists.
We have the opportunity with young people to get ahead. I think to introduce these practices early on is an extremely wise thing for us to do in society. The healing role of arts and the regulation and all of the benefits that exist there, I think it's important for us to understand that it is there.
The Steinbach Arts Council is working with Southern Health and others to introduce art therapy to its programming. Steinbach Sash Bear Walk is unique in Canada, by far the smallest city hosting a walk, but it's hoping to make a big difference in people's lives. Christopher Garreau, CBC News, Steinbach.
They're small but pack a big threat. Why scientists are warning Canadians about certain types of ticks. That's ahead. Stay with us. As the sun's path creeps northwards, it's not just summer that's headed our way. There are also more ticks migrating up from the U.S., bringing with them new health risks to Canadians. The CBC's Tom Murphy looks at how scientists and farmers here are combating the growing threat.
This is the Canadian Tick Research and Innovation Centre, or CITRIC.
This is the first kind of facility in Canada.
A sort of defense command for ticks in Canada, if you will, based at Acadia University in Wolfville, Nova Scotia.
People are very alarmed and very scared about the presence of and the transmission of tick-borne diseases. We don't have a vaccine for Lyme yet. Although we know very well that ticks carry multiple pathogens.
The black-legged tick, or deer tick, carries Lyme disease, but there are more than 40 other different types of ticks in Canada already. And then there are the troubling ticks to come. The Lone Star tick is making inroads, and the Asian longhorn tick. Those last two have farmers in Nova Scotia concerned. The Asian longhorn tick can cause anemia in cattle. It can kill them.
They're coming whether we want them or not.
Beef farmer Tim Marsh in Poplar Grove, Nova Scotia, is ever vigilant for signs his cattle might be struggling, fearful he might lose one.
Well, you'd be a couple $1,000s right off the top, depending on the age of it. Is it a bred cow? Then you're losing two animals. You know, it could be expensive in a hurry.
And if you still think ticks are little more than a nuisance, consider Patty O'Brien Carrier, an avid gardener in the nearby state of Maine. She was bitten by a Lone Star tick, then developed a severe meat allergy, which causes anaphylactic shock.
I get very itchy, my whole body itches, and I break out in hives. And then my breath gets shorter and shorter to the point that I can't breathe because it's shutting off my airway. So you absolutely can't breathe, and then if you don't get help immediately, then you can drop dead. So.
At CITRIC, they plan to bring both the Asian longhorned and Lone Star ticks into this secure facility.
Having them here, studying them, testing them, their behavior, their response, and also looking at the type of pathogen that they carry can help us to be more prepared.
There are actually growing ticks we are already familiar with here, like the American dog tick, feeding blood to the females using a kind of fake skin.
Ticks will pierce through the membrane and they will be fed.
And eventually have babies.
A female can lay around 2,000 eggs.
How many females are out there?
A lot.
As futile as it might all seem, back on the farm, Tim Marsh does what he can. Ticks like to climb up on tall grass and branches in hopes of hitching a ride on humans or cattle, so Marsh is clearing his fence lines. There are some products farmers can use on their cattle, and companies and scientists are working together on more sprays to repel ticks on humans. Eventually, property owners will be enlisted to join the fight.
We will probably contact people for their backyard to test this product.
Because the urgency to understand these tiny creatures is huge.
There are also other pathogens that needs to be more studied.
So for those who love the outdoors, what's Patty O'Brien Carrier's advice?
I have a hat and I have gloves, and I spray myself with lots of different products to keep the ticks at bay, because I surely heck don't want to get another tick bite.
And that's the message here. Be on guard. Don't be scared. Be prepared.
I just feel itchy. I feel like they're on me. I don't know.
Lots of experience with those growing up on the farm.
Oh my goodness. It is that time of year though. Check your animals if you do spend time outside, especially in that long grass, because you want to get rid of them right away. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Feeling a lot of folks are spending a lot more time outside with the pups.
Yes.
Which leads us very nicely into the dog walking forecast. Yeah, I mean, we are looking at temperatures not as warm as today as we head into the day on Thursday, but comparable, still above seasonal. And Glenn, by the way, just enjoyed her first summer bone out in the yard. That's a sign of the changing seasons, right? And also recently celebrated her 5-year gotcha day. So thank you for sending this picture in. Send yours, as always, to talkback@cbc.ca. And the thing that will carry us through the day tomorrow will be some very windy conditions, looking at gusts up to 60, 70 kilometers an hour. Chance of a few scattered showers, but we'll be in and out of the sun and cloud as we get through the day tomorrow, as the area of low pressure responsible for the wind and the precipitation across the province starts to push its way through as we get toward the weekend. So a nice ridge in the jet stream has allowed some nice warm air into the prairie provinces, into the high 20s, like I showed you earlier, into parts of southwestern Manitoba and into parts of southern Saskatchewan as well. As the system pushes through, though, you'll see this trough starting to develop just in time for the May long weekend, and that's going to cool things down below seasonal once again for not just the long weekend, but into the early part of next week again. But by the time we get to the back half of next week, there's another ridge that is starting to develop in the west, and that could bring us back closer to seasonal once again by the time we get to the later part of next week. So temperatures overnight tonight, maybe a couple of stray showers pre-dawn on the western edge of the province, 14s through Verdun, Roblin, Dauphin, looking at 11s and 12s into the Red River Valley overnight, and that precipitation starting along the Hudson Bay coast and along the territorial border, with this likely being either mixed precipitation or some freezing rain in places like Churchill as we get through the overnight hours, into the showers, for example, into places like Thompson through the day tomorrow. But this transitions as we see some cooler air pushing in over to snow as we get through the back half of tomorrow for Tuduli Lake and Churchill. Temperatures settling out around -2 by the time we get to the afternoon. More like a rain event through the day tomorrow for Thompson into Flin Flon. 13 degrees in Thompson tomorrow, but Friday looking at a high around -2, and that will transition some of that over back to snowfall once again for parts of northern Manitoba. In the south, the story, aside from a few showers through the middle part of the day or some periods of rain, maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder in here, the story will be the winds, looking at winds 50 gusting 70. Could see some gusts higher than that as we get through the afternoon tomorrow. Temperatures, the low 20s for the most part. Looks like high teens likely could break 20 degrees in parts of the Interlake tomorrow. Brittany, I'll have your 7-day forecast coming up.
Thank you, Riley.
Welcome.
Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen and his Artemis II crewmates have met with the Prime Minister. It was the first time Mark Carney had the chance to speak with Hansen in person since he returned to Earth. The Artemis II crew and Carney also exchanged gifts, but the Prime Minister had an additional present just for Hansen.
This is the flag that flew on the day you splashed down.
Oh, wow.
That is awesome.
That is absolutely extraordinary, sir.
All right.
That is a true honor. And it really resonates with me. I felt like Canada was with us as we flew around the moon, and the fact that this was flying that day, this means a lot. Thank you.
Hansen gifted Carney a plaque with the Canadian flag that was on the 10-day NASA mission around the moon. The crew later met with a group of Ottawa area school children and did an activity with them. And they'll also take part in a sold-out public discussion at the National Arts Centre to talk about their mission to the far side of the moon. A PEI boy has taken his quest for a pet all the way to the provincial legislature. The 7-year-old wants a turtle, but they're banned on the island to help protect local wildlife. So he reached out to the Environment Minister asking for an exception. Wayne Thibodeau has the story.
Dear Honourable Darlene Compton, Minister of Land and Environment.
7-year-old Fitz Corcoran has always wanted a turtle. They're not allowed on PEI, but Fitz isn't taking no for an answer. He's taking his concerns right to the top with a letter to the Minister of Land and Environment.
Because they're small and slow and cute, and they're the perfect pet.
And what makes them the perfect pet?
They have a big shell.
The province says the ban on turtles is to stop them from being established in the wild. That's happened in other provinces when someone releases a turtle or they escape their enclosure. Turtles can also carry parasites and diseases that can impact frogs, toads, and salamanders. Fitz asked his dad what he could do, and Dad suggested writing the Environment Minister. So he did.
My name is Fitz Corcoran, and I am 7 years old. I want a pet turtle on PEI.
It was worth the indulgence.
And that letter made its way to the floor of the PEI legislature.
We are very excited to see that Minister Compton had recognized his letter in the legislature, and certainly brought a smile to a lot of faces, and we were able to share with our friends and families. It was a nice moment.
It's what really legislation and democracy is all about. He took the time to write a letter to a minister to ask about a law or a rule and whether it could be changed. So I really appreciate that, and I will respond to him.
Compton says the regulations won't be changing, but Fitz says he's not prepared to give up the fight, just yet anyway.
As a leader, will you allow me to have a turtle? Please write me back.
Wayne Thibodeau, CBC News, Charlottetown.
I love it. Good on him. Well, still ahead, a new way to play a century-old board game. The new crokinole concept a Regina man has introduced to the world. We'll have more on that in our Daily Lift.
All right, time for a look at your 7-day forecast and prepare for a windy one across southern Manitoba. That will be the story as we get through Thursday, is the wind in northern Manitoba over the next 36 hours. This will be about the changing conditions from rain in Thompson, for example, over to more of a snow event as we get into Friday. So 22 degrees in Winnipeg for Thursday, maybe a few lingering showers into Friday morning at 18 degrees. Things staying windy as we get through Friday. We'll start to see that wind backing off as we get through the weekend, but that will signal a bit of a cool down. Could be a bit breezy on Sunday as well, as we see another system pushing in. 11 degrees for Sunday, 12 for Monday, and back up to 15 degrees for Tuesday and Wednesday. One weather picture to show you tonight, this one coming from St. Agathe. Suzanne's daughter flying a kite at sunset there at a nice sunny evening.
We get lots of wind for that tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. You can send yours to talkback at cbc.ca. A Regina game designer has put his mark on crokinole. Coulter Hain designed 2 games that are used with a traditional crokinole board.
And when U.S. crokinole board maker Brown Castle Games was looking for new takes, well, he scored. Here's your Daily Lift.
The cool thing about crokinole is it's been around forever, just like a deck of playing cards. It has unlimited possibilities of what can be done on a board. It's been around since the 1800s and actually was invented in Canada, which is really cool. At the time, I was actually just kind of getting into crokinole. They had a copy of a crokinole board at Multinational. Me and some buddies sat down and played it, and I thought, wow, this game is absolutely amazing. I ended up buying a board myself. I sat down and I came up with, I think it was like 7 or 8 different concepts within a week. I had crokinole cards sitting there for about a year. It's essentially 2 new games that you can play on your crokinole board. One is crokinole solitaire, and so you can actually play on your own. It's a great way to, test those skills, and you can actually play that cooperatively too, which is a lot of fun, just to play with someone on a team together. And then it also has another game, crokinole elimination, where your discs actually start on the board, and it's kind of the last one standing wins, and it's just a cool new way to play. It's something to just put yourself out there and have people's feedback all across the world reaching out to me and just saying thank you so much for this game. We've been looking for this.
I love it, coming up with new ways to play. I know it's a very popular game. I haven't had a chance to ever play it, but would love to hear what people think about it.
We played it as kids, but more so with the board. I don't know if we actually played the actual game.
Now's the time, Riley. Have a wonderful night. We'll see ya.